Okay, Zoe, we're back. Alright, let's have a look here. Well, we went ahead and looked at your blood draws here. And we noticed that you did have low red blood cells and low hematocrit and hemoglobin. Also, your MCV was a little elevated, as was, let me do that, just make sure.
Sure.
Oh yes, as was your reticular count. And then we did a complete bilirubin, and that was also high. So the tests we just did were just the CBC, and then we just did a complete bilirubin test, okay? And that's what we came back with that. And judging on the lab values that we found and the symptoms that you told us and that we were able to note, I'm going to go ahead and say that you have anemia with your diet. And this type of anemia that you do have is caused by the destruction or hemolysis of red blood cells at a rate that exceeds production. And this can be intrinsic or extrinsic. It can be caused by an autoimmune disease, or it can also be caused by hereditary. But I think it's more related to your running and the impact that happens when you do run, since you're doing it so frequently. So you do have these symptoms. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is I think we're going to put you on a corticosteroid therapy, and then I'm also going to give you the folic acid supplement. And this is just going to help your body to rebuild everything it needs to, so your red blood cells aren't breaking down.
And then if this should continue to worsen, what would you recommend?
I mean, if it did get really bad, we might have to do a blood transfusion every now and then, and then, I mean, if it got to the worst possible, we would do a splenectomy, okay?
Or a liver.
Okay, but you don't need to worry about that for right now. You're not too bad right now, so we're just going to give you that corticosteroid and then that folic acid.
Okay, yeah, sure. My biggest concern starting the steroid would just be it's going to be at an increased risk for infection now.
Oh yes, that's true.
So once the doctor leaves, we can talk about ways that we can make you, able to fight the infection. Just little interventions we can have for that, okay?
And we're go ahead and, I think maybe, have you had the flu vaccination yet? No, I haven't. Alright, well, I think for that, it's a good idea that we give that to you now before we start that steroid. Yeah.
That's a great idea, so we'll do that. And then just some other ways we're going to prevent infections because...
Go ahead and give me that.
Sure.
I'm going to go ahead and get the flu vaccination put in, and you can go ahead and
Okay,
do that.
sure. Thank you, doctor.
Bye, Zoe. It's good to meet you.
Okay, so my nursing infection due to the fact that we are starting you on an immunosuppressant, or the corticosteroid. So I just want to make sure that you know ways that you can protect yourself, like washing your hands frequently is the #1 way to prevent any kind of infection, okay? And then I just want you to, we're going to do this flu vaccination. I want you to stay away from crowded areas, especially now because, people are starting to get sick now that it's fall. So you want to stay away from crowded areas. And then also, since you go to the gym frequently, it's important to be wiping down that equipment before you get on because you don't know who was on there before you and if they cleaned it off. Also, we want to make sure that you're getting a well-balanced diet. So maybe, we can talk about this a little bit later today, but making sure you're getting enough fruits, vegetables, protein, things like that to keep you healthy. And then, you know what, later I'm going to give you a pamphlet on the signs and symptoms of infection, just so you know what to be aware of, and then we can discuss those signs and symptoms later, all right? So I'm going to go see what the doctor's doing about that flu vaccination and grab that pamphlet for you, okay?
All right, thank you.
I'll see you in a bit, Zoe.